Just mind your business is a predator's dream. This is Tanya TKO, and I am out here in New York City. This is Grand Central right behind me. I just got off of the train, and there was this man who was following me. He came up, passed by me, turned around and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I just nodded. He was walking ahead. Then he stopped and acted like he was looking at something on the wall, and he waited for me to pass by. When I pass by him, now he's behind me. Then he comes up alongside me, and then he starts trying to say something to me. And I already told you, when I'm out in the streets and these men approach me, I begin to run. I just start running. I wear comfortable shoes so that when it's time to book it, I could just book it, right? But you all know I just had a procedure yesterday. I've been out of health for the past year dealing with unwellness. So when he started talking to me, I just put my hand up and said, "Sir, I don't want any problems." To this, he became irate. He started hollering, "F you, so nobody wants your ugly A." And I just kept saying, "Sir, I don't want any problems," right? And then I just started saying, I was just talking really loud and just letting people around know what's happening, that these men out here are out of control, that this guy is, that he is bothering me, right? Most people just continue to walk. And then I had been unwell for the past year. So I've been typically taking the elevator. So like I said, I had my procedure yesterday. So I'm still kind of in that mindset of unwellness. So I go to the elevator to wait for it to go up. Guess who starts coming down along the path? The man. He's back again, right? And when I see him walking down towards that way, I say, "You know what? Let me not even," and I go to take the stairs. So I start telling more women, "Listen, these men out here are out of control." And there's this white woman on the stairs that's like, "What's going on? Somebody's bothering you?" She's like, "Where is he? I will F him up," right? So then she's like, "Where is he?" And she sees him. So she must have turned around earlier when I was hollering out about the dude, right? So she sees him passing by, and this woman, I have a daily habit of writing down my favorite part of the day. This was my favorite part of the day. The woman starts hollering at this man. She's like, she was like, "Come on up, I'll F you up, buddy," and all this other stuff, right? She was just going off. And the man kept on walking. He didn't want none of that smoke. And I thanked her. She was the only person that really kind of stood out, and she was hollering and she was loud, and she told me the police are on a certain concourse. She walked with me to a safe exit and all this other stuff. And I was just thinking, typically I just run. I was talking to him silently, but I could have hollered and caused a big scene, right? Like how she did, like she caused a big scene. Also, there's some race, power, privilege stuff in there. I was talking to her about Melitor versus, I forget the woman's name, but it was like Melitor Savings Bank versus this black woman. And that it was that case that created the standard for us to get sexual harassment out of the workplace, because sexual harassment was not illegal. It was that case that also set the precedent for us to have Title IX policies at our colleges and institutions against sexual harassment and all of that other stuff, right? So nonetheless, as I was walking, I started thinking about the video that I put up about Nelly and how he was touching her friend, I feel, inappropriately. The video has 200,000 views on Facebook, and the vast majority of the people are telling me to shut up and mind my business. And so this is what was on my mind. Shutting up. Let me walk backwards so I get away from the street with all that noise. Shutting up, minding my business only helps the predator. And I'm not saying that Nelly is a predator, but being quiet, turning a blind eye, saying, "Oh, well, let other people deal with that." That's the way that men have been socialized. They say they claim that men are providers and protectors and all of that. And the data will show you that if you're in trouble, a woman is most likely going to be the one that will help you. It most likely will not be a man. Just like today, it was a woman, and a white woman at that. And I spoke to her about how being a double minority puts me at extra risk, because she said that she has actually never in her whole life ever had a man approach her, to try to get her. Oh, it's so noisy out here. Oh my goodness. She said she's never had a man approach her, try to get to know her or get her number or whatever, and then just start cursing her out afterwards. Must be nice to have never had that, because that's far too often the case with too many black and brown women, especially here in the United States. They can't get your number, they can't deal with the rejection, so they just start cursing you out, right? So nonetheless, I told her how being a double-minded, and she was like, well, I hope that's not true. And I'm like, it also must be nice to be shielded from the fact that black women have to deal with a lot more of this madness simply because we lack the social power, we typically lack the financial ability, the believability, and what's the word? We're not as sympathetic. Like, people are not as sympathetic to our pains, our cries, our calls, our injustices. So we're the quote unquote perfect victim for people who want to be able to get away with their crimes. As a matter of fact, the women who set the precedent for sexual harassment in this country have been black women. I'll get you the names a little later, but that's just how it has been in this country, because men were able to get away with it for far too long in the office because they were victimizing black women. Nobody would believe them. They didn't have the money to fight it. Nobody really cared. You know what I mean? So it was like one of those silent crimes, but it's like, who does it help to keep quiet? Who does it benefit for us to quote unquote mind our business? Now, when it comes to this whole Nelly situation and all of that, I believe that the very least that we can do is analyze it and look at what it is showing us so that we can find the lessons for ourselves in our own lives. I think that that's the very least that we can do. Like, I don't know Ashanti, I cannot tap her on the shoulder, but how much longer are we gonna sit here talking about just mind your damn business, be quiet, let other people, okay, I'll let them do whatever it is that they're doing. However, we here can't talk about it so that I can educate my sisters who don't know better about ways that they can look for early warning signs, for red flags, for things that may not sit right. And I'm telling you that if your man is physically playing around with a woman in your presence, right? This just lets you know that there needs to be some sort of conversation about boundaries. Like, what is acceptable for you and your relationship? Is it acceptable for your man to be tickling, to be trying to lift up one of your female friends? Is it going to be okay for one of his male friends to do that to you? You know what I mean? Is it okay for you to start tickling and try to lift up one of his friends, male friends? I mean, come on, come on. So nonetheless, that's all I wanted to say. That Tani TKO Namad, I'd love to hear your point of view below. It's like we have so much dysfunction in our community that our reflex is just to be like, oh, mind your business. Let them deal with that, etc., etc. But no, I'm not minding my business. We're going to talk about it. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Peace. Tanya TKO, and I am out. Oh, and my self-love lesson from today is to get loud on these mother effers, cause a scene. Why should I be quiet about it for their damn comfort? Nah.